today's video, we're going to talk about working with AI agents. This is an incredible experience, and I'm stoked to show it to you, so let's jump right in. The first feature I want to show you is being able to copy-paste elements to the AI chat. So you can open the AI chat, and then you just select any element, copy it using Command-C, and paste it using Command-V, and it will reference it in the chat. But you can also reference elements by using the @ So clicking @ will open a drop-down. The very first option will be what you currently have selected, but you can also search for something specific. So you want, let's say, the user row or something like that, then it fuzzy searches between all the layers, and it will suggest the various options. But sometimes you forget to do that, and you'll just write, let's change the background image here. And when you write the words here, this, or these, it will also suggest to switch that word with the selection. So when I'm saying, let's change the background image here, it suggests to switch it with the hero. I click enter, and then it switches it with the hero. And this brings us to the next pretty cool feature, which is color picking. So I can say, let's change the background image in hero to something closer to, and then I can click this pick color button in the bottom. Then it enters color pick mode, and now I can just select a color. And let's just send this off so the agent works in the background. And you'll also see in the meanwhile how agents can update the background image, which is also pretty cool. Let's talk about the next pretty cool feature, which is position picking. So sometimes you just want to orient the agent. You don't want to say, listen, I'm talking about the space on the right of the title, etc., etc. You just want to be able to click that position. And that's exactly what you can do. So let me open a brand new chat, and let's pick a specific position. Let's pick, I don't know, this area over here. So I'm picking this area, and then it inserts to the chat the specific area, and the agent knows what element you're inside and what the specific coordinates inside this element are. So I can send this off, and now even if I move this frame to a different position, the agent will still know what relative position I'm talking about. The next extremely cool feature is being able to select a design system. So let's pick over here some design system, let's say paper worm. And now when the agent decides to create something, it must use this design system. So for example, let's tell it to create something that doesn't necessarily look like a paper worm brownish color. So let's just say flight details widget. Okay, so here it is creating the flight details. Let's put this in the background while we talk about the next really cool feature, which is the option to use any AI provider whatsoever. So you can connect multiple AI providers, and then you can just switch between the models, even mid-conversation. So you can start the chat with Gemini 3.5 Flash, switch to Opus 4.8 via your API key, and finally finish with working via Claude Code. Okay, so here we have it. And this was created, as you can see, using the paper worm design system. And if I switch design systems, then you can see the entire look and feel changes based on the design system. Now, while playing with this, I saw that there's something here that isn't looking right. So I'll just reference this, and I'll say, what is this supposed to be? So the agent responded, and this brings us to the next really cool feature, which is the element chips. So any element the agent is referencing receives this little chip that you can click, and it will take you to that element. So if I'm not selecting anything, and I now click this brand text chip, then it selects this element. If I hover over the various other element chips, so for example, the status pill, the times, you can see how it changes. It acts as if I'm hovering the actual element. So it shows you what the agent is talking about. And this allows the agent to point you to a specific element in its responses. So this is pretty cool, but still the result isn't. So this isn't visible. It was likely supposed to be here, I'm guessing. So we can either move it manually and place it over there, or we can tell the agent it's not visible. Can you take a look and fix it? So the agent did the work for us, and here it is. Now, what's really nice about Brilliant is that agents are extremely good at editing specific things. So if I don't like this, or if I want to make any changes, I can ask the agent, and they're extremely good at making precision changes. For example, let's reference this thing. Let's say, let's add another row under times. Now, the agent is asking me what I think this new row should be. And this brings us to the next pretty cool feature, which is this ask user questions experience, where the agent will ask me. I can either reply with free text and the agent will receive that, or I can just pick a number from 1 to 4 and that represents the response. So let's just say, I don't know, aircraft and flight info. So I choose 1, send this off, and then the agent sees that I chose this value. And now you'll see how the agent inserts the details. Now you can see that the agent got it wrong. So it put the details in the bottom. And this is interesting because that's the beauty about agents. They will create and then they will see if there are any mistakes. So it noticed it got it wrong and then it moved it to the right position. The last really cool agent feature is that not only does it create with design systems, but it creates using components and instances. And it does so without me explicitly asking. So let's look at the following example. Now let's just say dashboard, minimalistic, and beautiful. And let's imagine that I know how to type. Okay, so the agent started building and let's see if it indeed is using components and instances like I'm claiming. So looking over here, you can see that it created a brand new component for the overview, and then it used instances for all of these. You can see in the Layers Explorer that this has a full diamond, which represents that it's a component, and these are instances, which means that now if I change anything about the master, this will change all the instances as well. So if I change the layout, for example, this will update all the rows. Now you can see it's not using components and instances for everything, it's just using it where it makes sense. Over here, it makes complete sense because we have the same button multiple times. So if we want to change the color, the layout, the size, etc., it makes sense. And it makes sense over here for these cards as well, but it doesn't necessarily make sense for a button when we have just one standalone design. Over here, you can see that again, it used a component for this main card and then it reused it for these other widgets over here. This is incredibly useful because sometimes you just want to play with the design. And as you can see, any change that you're making will update all the various cards because they are all attached to the component. Okay, so I think that's enough for this video. We went through many features. Hope you enjoyed it and you learned something new. If you haven't tried Brilliant yet, then what the heck are you waiting for? It's free, it's bring your own key, and it's just sitting there waiting for you to change your life forever. That's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one.